TVHams.com is the official website of the Gentleman Grochowski Show. You can find out everything. Go to the Facebook website, everything, Facebook, YouTube. You got it. The Gentleman Grochowski Show will find a way to get you there. TVHams.com. We got a special guest today. He's an actor, and he's had a wonderful journey to get to the part of being an actor. Joe Farina, how are you, Joe?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Now, to start off with you, the psychology. Okay. You started off as a psychology major.
I was a psychology major at DePaul University.
At DePaul University.
Class in 95.
There you go.
Bobby, Sanjay, Isaac, all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The psychology is a scientific study of human mind and its functions, especially affecting behavior in a given content. That's kind of like what I think acting is. You kind of get inside of that character, right?
Wow, you're digging pretty deep.
Well, I'm
there.
just,
Wow.
but I'm saying, as an actor, you get into the mind, you become that character.
Well, to some degree. I mean, you can't do too much. You gotta have a nice. For me, you gotta have a nice balance. You gotta understand where the characters are coming from and everything like that. Understand why they're doing it and how they're doing it. But at the same time, you don't want to make it too cerebral where you're losing the genuineness of what you're doing.
Okay.
So, but there's some elements of that involved, sure.
And you had a psychology degree from DePaul.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yes.
What made you want to get into psychology in the first place?
That's the psychological question. That's the mystery. I think at the time it was just something that I was really interested in. I probably wanted to be a counselor or something like that. And
yeah.
DePaul's a great school. It's in Chicago. They had a great program, and so that's why I chose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you learned anything in psychology that helped you as an actor?
Yes. Stay away from psychology.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm proud of the degree that I have from DePaul, and I'm glad I studied psychology. But throughout time, my interest, changed and everything like that. But it was a great foundation. I had a wonderful time. I met some great friends. Growing up as a kid, the DePaul Blue Demons were my favorite basketball team.
Joey Meyer, Ray Meyer,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. And
yeah, they were a powerhouse, right? In the 80s?
They were a powerhouse, probably more popular than the Bulls at the time. So
yeah.
That had a lot to do with my choosing to go to DePaul. And I had an uncle that worked at the Allstate Arena a long time ago. It was the Rosemont Horizon.
Right.
That used to sneak me into the games and stuff like that. So there's a lot of connections.
And with a good degree, you've always got a background. You've always got a backup plan. You always got something else in your pocket. Because if you want to be an actor, you always got something that you can fall back on.
Sure. It's good to have something to fall back on. It's for me. It's a great history. It was a great program. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, it's always nice to have something to. Now that I've had 20 plus years looking back at my experiences at DePaul, I'm proud of the degree, and I'm glad I did it. And with acting, again, it goes back to balance. You got to sprinkle some of that psychology in there, so there's some usefulness in there. But at the same time, you got to leave some, room for your character to grow on its own.
Now, for a brief time, you jumped into doing radio.
I did. I started at DePaul. As a matter of fact, they had a radio station, WDRP, and the station was the size of a closet.
Yes, that's a college radio station for you right there.
Yeah. Now, with technology today, it's a whole different
and the money
thing.
from the people giving money to the college, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I love music. I love pop culture. As a matter of fact, I had a radio show at DePaul with Carlos Hernandez Gomez, and he and I grew up together. We both went to DePaul together, and we had a radio show, and it was awesome. It was
what kind of show was it?
Well, he and I loved British Invasion. Okay. He was a diehard Beatles fan. We both loved British Invasion, The Who, The Kinks, Small Faces, and that's all we would play and talk about. And we would have a guest every now and then. My dad was on the show once, and that was a lot of fun. But it was a blast. It was a blast.
For those you might know, your dad was Dennis Farina.
You are correct, sir. That is absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah.
Very proud of
him. And you were able to bring him down the show, and that had been a good experience.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He had a lot of fun. He was just a down-to-earth kind of guy, and had a lot of fun, told stories, and reflected on growing up in Chicago and everything. Yeah. So it was really cool.
So when did you decide acting was for you?
Probably right around the same time I met my wife, Heather, so it was probably around 2003. It wasn't until later in my life that I decided acting was for me.
Right.
It's just one of those things. But I had been around the industry since I was 7, just being on the set with my dad, hanging out with him, and meeting different people and everything. But acting was probably not until about 2003, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how hard is it to break into acting?
That's a great question. It's such a competitive business. There are no guarantees. You got to work hard. A lot of people are, they want the same role as you do. And even having my dad as a famous actor, nothing was guaranteed for me. I still have to audition. I still have to network. I still have to do my thing. And that's just the way it is. There are a lot of beautiful things about acting and a lot of harsh things.
Yeah, some perks and there's a lot of reality to it too.
Absolutely, a lot of rejection before you finally get accepted.
And you got to have a thick skin, because just because they don't cast you doesn't mean they don't like you, or they don't doesn't mean that you're a good guy or whatever. You'd be perfect for the role. They just found someone else, or there's something else they had to do with
absolutely. You got to have thick skin.
Yeah, and then what about acting appeals to you, specifically you? I mean, what do you like out of acting?
I get a kick out of it. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of fun, and being, especially when you're on a production, when you have amazing people to work with, it makes it worthwhile. I grew up being on the set, TV, theater, and so I'm really used to that. But at the same time, every time I do a new project, it's a whole new experience, a whole new perspective on things, and it's just a lot of fun for me to do.
And what was it like to be on the set watching your father act?
Back then, it was the coolest thing.
Because you were a little bit older when he became successful.
No,
right?
well, I was 7 when he started acting. When he first did his first role, I was, he got Crime Story in '86. I was a freshman in high school. So, in that essence, I was a little bit older, and that's when you get older, your perspectives change. When I was younger, it was just, oh, there's my dad. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But as you get older, your perspectives change, and you say, oh, it gets a lot of hard work, a lot of preparation, and everything like that. So.
And as a little bit older adolescent, you could see that in your dad preparing, getting ready for the role, opposed to just watching it on TV. I think as a kid, 7 years old, you probably wouldn't have appreciated or understood what he goes through.
Yes, absolutely. It's not easy. There's a lot of hard work. They probably work 10, 12-hour days. Once they start filming, then it's the preparation before that, script readings and the like, and rehearsals and all that.
So how do you prepare for a role?
I try not to make it too cerebral. I really don't. I try to, the script, when you have a script that's good, when you have good writing, that makes it a lot easier. Just getting to know the character, talking with the director, getting his or her perspective on the character. Not trying to make it too cerebral. I like to make it my own. There are some directors that they stick to the script. Some they allow more improv. Others, a nice combination and everything like that. So I like to get to know the character a little bit, and then just know my lines, do my thing, and then when it's done, go home and.
Right. Now I've had some actors come by that says that when they get into character, it's hard for them to get out of character. Is it hard for you to get out of character?
No. I think no, because I'm not married to one acting perspective. There's Meisner, there's method. Every actor, it's a little bit different. No, because it's the entertainment industry. It's not reality. When I'm done with a project or I'm filming for the day, as soon as I walk out, I'm
Which
Joe,
is good.
I'm Joe Farina. Yeah. Go home to my wife and kids, and that's it. Yeah.
And what kind of background research do you do on a character?
It all depends. If the character is somebody that's like, for example, with Strap, the award-winning short film that I star in, that character is a crooked cop. So you got to think, okay, what would a crooked cop be like, and what would he go through? There's every film or every project that I do, it's a little bit different, and it's a new adventure, and it's a new way for me to build character and just have fun and just enjoy it.
Now, speaking of Strapped, that's one of the movies you've been in here. You've been in over 20 film, TV, and stage productions.
That's true.
Which one how are each one different, and what do you like about each one? Do you prefer one over the other?
Well, for example, with theater, that was improv. I love improv.
I think that'd be fun because you're in you got a good with television. You film or you do something with film. You film it and that's it. Where theater, you're in the whole production from start to finish. I think that'd be more. I think you would enjoy that more as far as if you like acting because you're into something. You're not just reading a couple lines but no one's really going to see you. You see the whole audience there and they participate with you.
That's true, but also too, improv doesn't just apply to comedy. You can apply improv to any kind of acting, drama, improv. So that's the beauty of it. Being in front of a live audience is always exhilarating whenever you get a chance to do it. Strapped was different than, for example, a movie that they called RiffRaff, filmed on a beach, filmed in Chicago, life being about lifeguards and all that. My character, it's a new character, it's a new challenge, and it's I get a new canvas to really make that character my own.
And the RiffRaff was kind of a coming-of-age comedy, right?
That's very true. Written and directed by Justin Naughton, who went to St. Ignatius.
Okay.
And he's out in L.A. pursuing an acting career. So.
Which I'm sure is a different type of movie than Strapped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Strapped is an intense movie. I saw I saw it online, and it's intense.
It is intense.
And I don't want to. We'll give everyone the link; they can check it out. I don't want to give anything away, but I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I mean, it's like you saw it coming, but then you're like, oh,
yeah,
it's not coming. And then it's kind of,
no, you're exactly right. Then
the suspense built up, and then I was surprised when it happened.
Well, then the movie did its job.
Yeah,
and it for a short film, there's a lot going on there. Crooked Cop talks about relationships, sacrifices, your purpose on this earth, relationships. There's so much that's talked about and done in that film, and I think that's why it's been so successful.
And then a drama, award-winning drama, Depth of the Heart.
Depth of the Heart, written and directed by Jonathan Cohan, who was also the cinematographer for Strapped. And John asked me to do this movie. I said, absolutely. I love working with him. He's just a great guy. He and his wife Elizabeth are wonderful, wonderful people. That movie won Best Dramatic Short at Bare Bones Film Festival, and it's about it's about my character. Goes off to the big city. He's from a small town. He goes off to the big city, tries to get away from everything that happened, but in reality, you always come full circle. Circle. You can never get away from that.
You always got to chase your past. You always got to deal with your past. You can't run away from it.
Can't run away from it, and you always come back to it. And it was great. It was a drama, award-winning drama, like Strapped is. Absolutely.
And Chasing Robert, another movie.
Yeah, I tell people that's the funniest movie you'll never see because I don't know why, I don't know how. My buddy Joe Gandersky worked on it. It was written and directed by Len Ostrovich, who used to own the Funny Firm. I don't know if you remember that comedy club.
Yeah.
It is a hilarious movie. A few friends of mine and my wife and my dad, got a chance to see it. That was awesome. I just wish more people could have seen it. Yeah.
And then one other movie. Let's touch about Paranormal Island.
Paranormal Island, written and directed by Marty Murray, a Chicago guy. Marty's dad was a cop. Marty called me up, said, I'm doing this movie, Paranormal Island. Would you like to be in it? I said, absolutely. It was filmed up at Blarney Island in Antioch.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun to do. We shot overnight, and it's a scary, intense film. I believe it screened at the Cannes Film Festival.
Okay.
So it was nice. It was a nice little movie to be a part of.
Final question I have for you here: what's with American art musicians? You don't like them, huh? You only like the Beatles and the Who, the Kinks.
Well, yeah, those
Faces,
are my favorite.
Right,
Yeah.
right, Small Faces.
Small Faces.
What's with America? You don't like American
no,
music,
that's not,
or what?
That's not true. American musicians and American groups had a tremendous influence on those British bands.
Well, I mean, the blues.
Oh yeah, the blues. Well, they absolutely. But groups like the Love and Spoonful, and the Byrds. I mean, I love those groups too. I love British Invasion. I love American groups. My favorite is without a doubt is CCR, Creedence.
Okay.
I love them, and sometimes on my guitar I'll play.
You play music?
Yeah, I do,
okay.
and I'll play some of the songs for my kids.
Maybe you can come back again and play some music.
Yes,
Would you do
absolutely. I would love to do that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe take a karaoke challenge. You can
Yes,
do some
absolutely.
Who songs or
sure,
something
you
like
got
that.
it. Yeah,
Cool.
you're on.
All right, Joe Farina. And if you want to find out some more information about Joe and anything else on TVHams.com. TVHams.com is the official website of the Gentleman Grochowski Show. You can go to YouTube and Facebook.
It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show. Everybody, don't you know? It's a Gentleman Grochowski Show.